Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the 22nd Rickerby Show right here in Carlisle. And I'll tell you what, already we've had a quick run round, and what a lineup of machines you've got at this show. So, to kick things off, we are going to start with this fella here. I mean, it's fair to say he's the man, the myth, the legend that is Mr. Martin Henderson, Sales Director for Rickerby's. So, for starters, Martin, just give us a bit of the show history. When did it all start? Why did it all start?
We started, obviously when foot and mouth hit in 2001, all shows stopped. And then when they sort of got cleared or whatever, we decided what we would do. We thought we'd have a bit show ourselves. And to be fair, it started off as a small show between Carlisle and Penrith. A few hundred people, and we thought that was grand. And then, to be fair, it developed from there to now. It's a 22nd consecutive sort of show. Obviously, we did the virtual kind of shows during the COVID and that, and now we sort of get up to about 4,000 people now, to be fair, and it's grown and grown. I think it's become a little bit of a sort of get-together for farmers and contracts as well, for a bit of crack as well. Obviously, it's a great thing. We've got all the products here for the customers to have a look. You've got a chance to speak to the reps, good things and bad things, like, to be fair.
That's it, yeah. Get all the bad things. Yes,
absolutely, and try and keep the job going. And each year we try to have something a little bit different and try and make sure that we, make it interesting for everybody. And we are here to sell.
Absolutely. And we're in this part of the show here where you've got some stunning sort of special editions, you might say, because you always like to do a bit of a special edition at your show.
We always maybe upset everybody by doing something a bit different, to be fair. And to be fair, we have a lad, a company called Cook Signs, a lad called Phil, who does a terrific job at designing. We give him a few ideas and he comes up with something and we modify it. And obviously, Claas Jaguar celebrate this year 50 years of production, which is a tremendous feat. And then also at the same time, we're doing the tractors, because Claas have been doing tractors for 20 years.
That's it. So it's 20 years this year since they took on Renault.
Yes, that's correct.
So just talk us through some of these. Well, is it a wrap? This that you've had?
Yeah, it's wrapped. To be fair, and we're trying to keep in a little bit of tradition and the colours and stuff, and trying, a lot of the young drivers and that wanting something a little bit more out of the ordinary, chrome caps, black wheels.
I was going to say, these chrome caps are a bit striking, aren't they?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I try to involve some of the younger lads as well, because it's their sort of colleagues and mates that sort of looking at us older lads maybe don't have the same sort of view as what some of these younger boys have, like, to be fair. So, but I also like to say it's a team effort. There's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm Lucas, maybe the head, but Colin Ports, Kevin Rennie, and all the lads, even the car park, and there's a lot of effort goes into the whole job, like, to be fair, and people's opinions. And that's where it gets a bit entertaining, because everybody has
we want this opinion. And we should do that.
I don't like that, And we also do a toy model. We try to do
this?
Yes, we've got we do 100 special edition ones. To be fair. Always, we try to be as close to the actual product that we're doing as well, to be fair. So they've sold quite well as well.
Right.
Like,
so of the real ones, these ones here that we can see, how many of these will you do of these sort of wrap
This is
ones?
what you see.
This is what we see, these three here.
That's a CBIS one, and that's a CIS one, to be fair.
So you've got a couple of different specs.
Slightly different specs, east and west side, maybe a little bit more spec for the east side, to what the west.
You got the little 400 series in the middle.
Yeah, the start of the 400s, you see, to be fair. Just a little bit tweak here and there, and the job's sorted, like, to be fair.
It's smart, is that? It's got the Rickerby logo since 1880.
Yeah, well, been on the go a long time, to be fair, and it's still, still today, the Rickerby family is the owners of the company, to be fair. So you started off with Joseph Rickerby. Now Mr. Paddy Rickerby, he's the chairman of the company, direct descendant of Joseph.
Right. And how many depots have you got now?
We've just launched a new depot down at Burscough.
A bit near us down there.
A bit more your territory. So we're 9 depots now. To be fair, in 2001 we were 5 depots. So we've progressed and grown to 9 depots. We have like 5 on the eastern side and 4 on the west side. So we sort of trade from Moffat down to the M62, top side of Edinburgh, down to Scotch Corner, to be fair. So it's a fair area. Yes,
and a lot of the staff that work over those depots, are they...
Yeah. We have a rota. because obviously we've still got to run the business in normal hours that do the depots. They don't maybe see the chaos here at Carlisle, but everybody's involved. I mean, there's about 130, 140 employees total, and I would say most of Porkle have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
PDI the machine for the show, organised the transport. It's a massive team performance.
I can imagine.
To be fair,
I mean, just with the lineup that you've got here, you must have had machines coming in from all different directions to.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, well, mainly from the depots. There is some machines come from some of the companies, some of the big drills and that. Like, to be fair, that we wouldn't stock normally. But most of it's, we have 3 Arctics there coming from different depots. And trying to remember that we get all the machines in, to be fair, before we sort of fill the tent at the top and realise we've forgotten about one, like, to be fair.
Can you just move them back out of the way?
Can be a little bit of a problem, like, to be fair. But
and the original depot, would that have been this one at Carlisle?
Yes,
this is the first one.
Yes, originally down in the main, anybody knows Carlisle, Butchergate, which where all the nightclubs are now. And originally back in sort of early 70s, I think that's where the auction was as well. And Rickerby started right in the middle of the street, to be fair. And they did used to have a foundry as well. Some of the implements that you see, the seed drill that's on the ramp there, the castings was done by Rickerby's.
So, right up to date then, the latest Jaguar. And you were saying it's 50 years of Jaguars.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And you've got this wrap.
Yeah, the SF on the job eye and the wrap and that, like, to be fair.
Yeah.
We did a little fun sort of video, myself and Colin.
I saw that.
Yes, he bullies us into it, like, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, we found a price list for it. It was about 76, 77, and of course, it was about $4,000 retail. That was the SF.
Yeah, so that's one through here. So go and have a look at that, shall we? So like we say, this is right up to date with this one, and then this is where it all started.
Yeah, that's right.
The Jags down here,
without the cab on, to be fair.
So this would have been what, $4,000 back in the day?
Somewhere like, I think about retail $4,000 in about 77, 78 or whatever, like, to be fair. Slight difference to today's prices, like. But what our lads were commenting, it's pure raw power. To be fair, when she runs, she's got that original sort of sweet, sound of a big engine, like, to be fair. The only thing is, it's not what I would call ozone friendly, like, on a cold morning. The old fumes is
plus a bit of a cloud in there.
Aye, that's right, to be fair.
That's it. So how many horse would this one would have been?
I think it's about 210, 212 horsepower, which, to be fair, was a bit bigger than what I thought when we started looking into it and doing it.
You'd
like,
have been the man back in there, wouldn't you?
Oh, close, it would have been the beast, like, to be fair.
4-row maze header on here.
Yeah, on the job, I think, I'm not sure, but I think it was sort of more like a Jag 60 trailed with a big engine on it, to be fair. Because obviously they made trailed forages a lot longer before then, in the 60s, because they bought another company out, I think in the mid-60s or something like that, to be fair. I don't think the soundproofing would be too hot in there.
I bet you knew about it after a full day in there.
Well, I wasn't too sure whether the cab was a good thing or a bad thing, like, to be fair. You know what I mean? On
That's
the job,
it.
so.
Yeah, it'd have been a bit warm, wouldn't it, on a hot day, on a hot summer's day.
Without a doubt, like.
That's it. And then, right up to there,
960,
like
900 series.
From 200 horse to, I mean, what we pushed
they're about 600-700. Well, the biggest one, 990, I think it's 800 plus horsepower now, to be fair, which is one of those outside, because if you had a look outside there, we've got one of each series through the years, the 491s, 492s and that, like, to be fair. A lot of them, which took a little bit of entertaining getting all sorted, like.
I bet, but it looks good. And then you got a few, a few bits and pieces down here.
Some customers' tractors that have sold. We've got like the sort of black one, and then we've got the grey one over there, and just trying to show folks, we'll do what spec you want. Like, to be fair, it's like buying a car. Things have changed when you're selling tractors now. People want different things. It isn't just like about basic. They want the chrome exhaust, different coloured wheels. We've done all sorts.
And that's it, you must have seen a few, when it comes to selling machines over these, you must have seen quite a few changes in trends and things like that.
That's unbelievable. I mean, my sort of career started in 77 and on Massey Ferguson 590s, which are quite a bit different to today's society, like, to be fair, on the job, and a lot of changes. But I often think with the machinery side is, they don't really invent anything. It's like what we're saying about the first tractor built by Renault. It was on tracks, where it's like a new thing now. It's been there for a long time, four-wheel drive. It's been there since 30s. But all of a sudden it comes a revolution, like, it just becomes more expensive and bigger and more powerful, like, to be fair, on the job. So, lots of changes, in fairness.
You brought a big Zeri in as well?
Yeah, that's we have an odd one in the area. Like, to be fair, I can't say we sell too many of those. Like, big bad boys, them. Like, to be fair.
I tell you what, it's got a fair old nose on it, hasn't it?
I wouldn't like to be paying for the tyres if you ripped them off, would you?
Exactly.
To be fair, on the job. So, yeah, no, very good. Like, very good.
Spot on. And then the new Treon as well. How are you getting on with the Treons?
Very good. I mean, it's been a great success for ourselves.
Cummins powered as well.
I mean, we sold quite a lot. Yeah, last year was a little bit challenging for deliveries and that, but this year we're full on. Deliveries is back to normal, thankfully. Like,
I was going to say, what's it like back at the factories now in terms of getting back up to speed again?
I know what you see. They actually had that period where they changed the factory quite dramatically and rebuilt it, and that which put a bit of delay on. Whereas now it seems to be in full swing, and it's a great spot to be. You know, it's very impressive. In fairness, they've spent a lot of money investing for the future. Like, just to be fair, with all the factories, I mean, the Le Mans factory, they've spent an absolute shed load of money.
Well, that's it. I mean, you look at the tractors that are turning out now. I mean, these will evolved since you've been selling them.
Yes, just from the Renault days, they're totally different. I mean, I do say this statement quite a lot, that I've been here 33 years and it's the best range of tractors product and most reliable that we've ever sold here at Rickerby's. You know, we've had McCormick's, we've had Valters, we've had Cases, Internationals, and by far this is the best product we've sold.
Really?
And that's all I can comment on, like, to be fair. You know, very reliable and a good product. Very good to you know, comfort, driver comfort. I think very bad to beat with the 4-pillar suspension on the cab. As well as obviously the front suspension, but that cab being on that 4-point makes it very comfortable. Like, Claas have got a big drive on the C-Matic range. It starts off with the 660 there. We're finding that's becoming a very popular tractor for us.
660.
Yeah. 205 horsepower boosted, and then you go on to the bigger tractors. You can get C-Matics on 650, 630s, but that seems to be what I call our popular stocking tractor. To be fairer.
So, and what's the uptake on CVT transmissions these days? Is it being more accepted? People want that more now than power shifts?
Definitely, manufacturers are pushing that way anyway. Whichever breed or make you're looking at. You know, I don't think before long, above 200 horsepower, you'll not be able to get any make that hasn't got a CVT type gearbox. Right. In fairness, I think what Europe kind of forgets in the UK, we still like a bit of basic tractor for, you know, feeders, towing trailers. You know, you don't need that gearbox for everything. A few clunks here and there. No, you've got a gear.
Yeah, exactly. So if we have a little wander down here, I mean, just talk us through some of the other franchises.
I mean, Abbey Machinery, we've been a dealer for them since early 70s. Been an excellent product for us. We do an awful lot, do their full range of equipment. They do the trailing shoes and do the dribble bars and that, and they do full range of tankers up to about 5,000 gallon. So it's been a very good franchise for us. To be fair, you know, family owned. What you'll find with Rickerby's is that most of our companies that we deal with are family owned. Right. And we believe we're obviously with our family company, and we believe that's quite a strong point for us. Like, to be fair.
And imagine a lot of these franchises that you deal with, you'll have dealt with them for years, have you? You know, these are long-term relationships.
And when all said, agriculture to me is a people's business. Doesn't matter whether you're the dealer, the manufacturer, or the person that's buying. It's all about them relationships. You know, too many things. You know, a lot of things are modern. You still can't beat the knocking on doors, talking to people, making sure the customer knows who you are, and you get that chance. If you get a chance, that's what it's all about, to be fair.
That's it, and deal done on handshake.
Yeah, well, hopefully, and a bit of cake and that. Opico Heaver, been dealers for them for quite a long time, to be fair. Bailey, another family company. You know, been tremendous since they built the new factory and that. I mean, they've leaps and bounds. The quality of the product's superb. And they do such a full range. I mean, what I find interesting with trailers is, once upon a time, 12.5s, 8-ton trailer, that was it. Now, God, Bennett, it's so complicated. You want all the flashing lights and, you know, various things, and so it's pretty good. Lemkin, again, another family company, you know, to be fair, that we deal with, and that, and I mean, the drills and stuff. tremendous. You see, that's just a 4 metre, all the changes in the drilling, and that, like, to be fair. Ploughing's maybe a bit under threat a little bit because of the changes of what sort of dairy companies are sort of putting folks through, this sort of more min-till, but it doesn't suit everybody's ground. It's not everybody's cup of tea, to be fair.
That's it, you've got to farm what you've got, haven't
yes,
you?
absolutely.
Exactly.
Bunning, again, I know it sounds repetitive, but again, another family company. We've dealt with them for 30, 35 years, maybe, something like that, like. And that's a superb product.
I was going to say, some feral spreaders there, aren't they?
Yes,
which we can attest to, can't we, Chris?
To be fair. And vegan cattle trailers and Jarmuth equipment and that. To be fair, we tried to actually, not just for the big farmer, we want the smaller farmer, the hobby farmer, we want to try and cover everybody's budget. Right. You know, not just the big budgets.
I was saying, because it's a hell of a range, isn't it, that you've got?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And how do you go about sort of like choosing these sort of franchises and what fits the business and things like that?
Well, we have to have a look at, say, McConnell. We've been a dealer for them since the 60s. They bought the Aggie Buggy sprays, and a lot of investment in that. We have our own backup machine, and specialising. It's relationships with the rep. Is he a good rep? And service us as much as possible, and then looking at what the quality of the product is, and we want to commit to that product, and we want them to commit to us. To be on the job.
That's it. And you mentioned before the
Rickerby seed drill.
So what age would that be?
Well, I think it's early 1900s, 1910, 1920, something like that. Horse drawn. Everything was made by Rickerby's, and you see they've got the Rickerby badge, Carlisle. And what we've tried to do here on here is kind of sow through the ages. You start sowing seeds with the horse. This is in sort of early 50s, David Brown 2D. I get the rib taken because I'm a David Brown fanatic, so it's mine. So obviously I think it's the best on show.
That's the best thing here.
Absolutely. And then here you have the ultimate machine that basically can go in the field, sow your seeds, memorise it, come back and weed it. And you don't have to be anywhere near it. And you can be sitting having your bacon roll or something in the canteen, and if it goes wrong, it tells you on the phone.
And you can monitor it.
And you monitor it. And it's just so unreal, where things are changing so quite dramatically.
So this will be that new farm droid from Opico, is it?
Yeah, and we have actually sold one up on the Edinburgh side.
Right. And what sort of customer?
Well, it's used,
has that gone to?
Well, it's all to do with vegetables and stuff like that, like, to be fair. But I mean, on the far side, Claydon, that's just a fairly fresh franchise that we've done. We've took that on for all this min-till and stuff, and it's it's valid for the grants. There's a lot of grants out at the moment, and Storth, the local company, was quite important to us. We do an awful lot of their equipment, umbilicals and anything to do with slurry and that, which is a massive product, like, to be fair.
So a bit huge down this side.
Yeah. Crumbs, there's a lot of muck, to be fair. Fleming, the company, sort of an Irish company again, we do a lot of their sort of stuff and that. The smaller items, fill that smaller end.
That's it, and into the plant as well?
No, this is a relationship we have with a company called Gordon's, and the Doosan range, and that, like, they have a bit of our premises, because we're also very big into professional horting.
Right.
And we have a sort of agreement with them over on the Scotch side, Castle Douglas, where we have some of their premises, they have some of our premises, so they have diggers. We have nothing to do with diggers, but they have nothing to do with the professional horty, Ransoms and Jacobson side of it, like, to be fair.
So this Gordon's, is that the same Gordon's that's up sort of Dumfries?
Yes, that's them, yes, yeah. They're a Claas dealer like ourselves, like, to be.
That's it. So that's just a two-way relationship.
Yeah. And we help each other. It's unheard of with dealerships, but it does work for us. And on this side, we have another new agency we've just had for a couple of years. Is the Luca range, which is we're very excited about it. It's expanded to bigger range to what our previous products was. The feeder bedders. They also do the bedders with the blowers on, like for the diet feeders, with the blower on the front and stuff like that. Do a full range of equipment. It's good quality. Built in France.
Were these the French?
The French. In fairness, so again, a family company. Come across here, we have Chanco. We've been a dealer for them for a long time in various shapes and forms, because over the years, I used to make loaders and stuff back in the day.
That's right.
And now they have it's a partnership that does it. and we do very well with the wrappers. To be fair, we'll take on the leader, old McHale.
That's it.
No harm in mentioning opposition occasionally.
Exactly, and it'll sit well with, you know, like your Claas Bailey products and things like that.
You know, everything. We don't like anything that clashes with each other.
Yeah.
I've always been a believer, if you say have two machines the same and you go to a customer, which one are you going to sell? To me, the salesman can get confused, or the customer, if you try and sell him A, he might want B, and if you're trying to sell him A and he gets cheesed off, you're not selling what he wants.
It's like, why is that $2,000 cheaper than that?
You know, so it's not a great thing to do, to be fair. Kawasaki, we've been Kawasaki for a long time again. The mules, there was a great, you have the petrol ones and the diesel ones. The petrol one's becoming a bit more popular now.
Is it?
Yeah, well, you can buy a couple of things. If you just want to run about, the petrol one is a little bit more manoeuvrable. The diesel type of machines are more like a workhorse,
a bit more
like
of
a
a
tractor,
lugger.
and not right side, to be fair. And there's a price difference. You can buy a lot of petrol for the difference.
Yeah.
Sutton Farm Machinery, dealt with them, brushes and buckets and stuff and that, to be fair. KRM's another product. The spinners and stuff and that. We do an awful lot with the fancy ways and stuff. And then there's, again, some of these other new machines coming in to do this weed and stuff. It's coming more and more. Yeah. You know, manufacturers are looking more into this because obviously instead of using chemicals and that, it's more popular. And this is our professional horty side, Izeki. I mean, they've just brought we're talking about robotic on the film. You maybe see there's a tractor there that basically it's just driving itself. To be fair, all remote controlled.
Right. Was that Harper Adams job, that one?
Yeah, it is. Yes. Now you know more about it than I do, to be fair.
I won't go that
far. On the job, it's way forward technology.
Yeah.
We're number one with the ransom stuff. We do all the golf clubs. We do Carlisle United, Newcastle United, football clubs there. Yeah. To be fair, it is a big part of our business.
Yeah.
We rationalised the business massively in 2000, 2001 because we used to have engineering, electric, dairy, buildings, and become specialists. Because I quite like the theory that if you're more specialist, you have a better job of surviving and doing a better job.
Yeah, concentrating on.
Yeah. And no problem, mate. Cheers, mate. And this is Rytech. We've just taken them on just recently. To be fair, it's maybe more for the eastern side, where you have a drill and you put that in between your drill and your tractor.
So give a bit of soil loosening.
British built, to be fair, great product. A lot of interest at the show here today. In fairness.
Good stuff, right? What's through the tunnel? What else have you got?
Yeah, through the tunnel.
It never ends, this.
No, that's right. Well, the whole idea is we work a system where you start at the front. If you want your free food,
you've got to get to the end.
You've got to get to the end, and you've got to come back again.
It's like having the gift shop at the end of a tour, isn't it?
It's like teasing you.
That's it.
So in here we have some of the smaller franchises. IE, JFC, Titan, the general sort of products that we sell through our stores and that, fuel tanks. Do a lot of galvanised cattle crushes, a lot of these cattle and lamb sort of races and that. And then through obviously here, where another fresh franchise to us recently, Kimco Bikes. In fairness, they've took off pretty well for us. They have a full range, to be fair, which we were just lacking in the past. And
well, that's it. You got the UTV stuff where
they do all the mules and stuff.
That's it,
Kawasaki just do the big bike now. See, they don't do the smaller ones. So we were lacking a bit at the bottom end, as you might say, for size wise. Most popular is about 400 or 500 cc.
Right.
And then here we have Jacobson. This is a new machine. We've sold a couple of these today. It's a grader. This is the basic one for doing your lanes.
All right,
grading the lanes and that. Have rams and various things. I had an inquiry this morning. I told the bloke I knew nothing about it, but I know a bit more now. And no, I thought when Simon fetched it, I thought it was a bit daft what we're fetching that, and they say we've done 2 today, so it shows you how wrong you can be.
So it just drops it in 2 sort of.
Watch the video, it sort of knocks the high bits and low bits and levels your track out. something different.
That's
It seems to work. So
Yeah. Well, you sold 2, so
yeah, so it's good.
Must be something in it.
And then we have stocks, which is new to us, really, to be doing the mini drills and the wheels and that. We're starting obviously with these big wheels, 900 wheels and that on tractors, and you can't get tyres from the factory, so you have to source outside. And the tyre jobs change quite dramatically as well. You know, specialised. Another fresh agency here, local build, the Scrape Enser. What it is, it's a bedder for, you can do your scraping and it'll fire your sawdust, so you can do 2 jobs in one go.
Right. That's nifty.
So it's local,
Yeah.
in fairness, which is quite good. We like again, you like Storth, Scrape Enser, we like the family thing,
Yeah.
to be fair, because you're talking to the people who's running the business. There's no directors that can chop and change.
No, you haven't got any
not
committees in between.
Aye, that's right. It's either good or bad.
Yeah.
You either get told off or you don't, like.
Well, at least you can speak to someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
get
then
somewhere.
we've Bargain sprays. We do an awful lot of those now, to be fair. We obviously do the self-propelled agri buggies, and this fills in the sort of that mid-range. And then we have Quickie, ALO. We do a lot of their attachments. You know, they're known for loaders and stuff. And then another new sort of product to us, an A&H compressors for your slurry.
All right.
For, you know, instead of buying your old industrial compressor.
Yeah, and hoping it works.
Yeah, hoping it works. This does work, and it goes on the front or the back of the tractor. So you can put it on the front linkage, or you can put it on the back. Because obviously some of these systems, people have different sort of systems. You can't put it on the back, can't put it on the front. Belt driven, and it's, you know, great. So if you need more air, even to blow your combine down after the end of the season.
I was going to say, what is it, 300?
Yeah. Oh, she got some puff with it, like. There's no doubt about it, like.
That's it.
And then we just we have 1 or 2 other people, tyre people here, the various representing the various companies and that, like. All right. So yeah, that's it. Really.
That's it. You've got it all, haven't you?
Well, hopefully. You just need sales.
That's it. That's the key bit, innit?
Always say profit's not a dirty word. That's what we're here for, like, to sell.
That's it. Right, when the cameraman comes back, here he is. Well, Martin, thank you very much for that.
Absolute pleasure.
That's been absolutely
Thank you for
spot
coming
on.
and seeing us.
We'll grab a beer and we'll see what else we can find.
Excellent, spot on.
Perfect. Right, ladies and gents, I just thought while we're here at the Rickerby Show, we'll have a catch up with a couple of the exhibitors that we've not seen for a while at some of the other shows, such as Lammer. So I'm now joined by Mr. Nick Evans from Abbey Machinery, who's going to give us a little tour of the stand and, well, what you're showing off today.
Yeah,
what you
exactly.
Got, you've got a fair few bits.
We've got a fair bit of machines. So we've got a 10.7 DM band spreader here, which obviously fits on all of our range of tankers. You know, a lot of the government grants are demanding band spreaders and trailing shoes.
I was going to say, it's all big topics at the moment,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
So they're a big sort of selling part for us at the moment.
Yeah, and what widths do you do in these?
So we do a 10.7, which is this. We're currently looking at a 12 metre, which we're doing. We can put bigger applications on the tankers and stuff.
Yeah.
So we do 7.7, 8.7, 9.7, and 10.7 in this. So
and what's your sort of most popular size for on a tanker?
Down in the small farmers, down in the south where I am, like, you know, a lot of 7.7s, but there's also a lot of big estates or cereals where they're using 12 metre applicators or 10.7.
Right.
Obviously, the bigger tanker demands a bigger applicator. So
yeah,
you know, it's obviously you know, it's just what the customer really is looking for, really.
That's it. And how are you fitting yours to the tankers? Is it via the 3-point link?
Yeah,
via the linkage, or
our applicators are they although they say they're DM spreader, they are not door mounted. They're obviously on a 3-point linkage. So you've got linkage at the bottom, so like a 3-point linkage, and a top linkage. So there's no weight and stress on the back door of the tanker. All the weight and stress is on the chassis. And if we go across to the tanker, I can show you where we mount it on the tanker.
So whereabouts are we fitting these?
So the brackets will be fitted up under here.
Right. So like say straight onto the back of the chassis.
Yeah, exactly. But this tanker itself is obviously designed to carry a different applicator. It's designed to carry a trailing shoe, which is, you know, like a 6-point linkage. Yeah. So this is obviously slightly different. But if we wanted to fit that band spread on here, we would come off some brackets. We would have a H frame on here to obviously accept that the bracketry for the applicator. Right. So that's how we would go there. This particular tanker, obviously he's got a fill point on the back. Obviously all our tankers have, you know, four points filling, 2 at the back, 2 at the front. This one's got a stone trap, and the doors on the left-hand side. Rickerby's are obviously starting to have a lot of their tankers in black wheels.
I was going to say it's a bit of a theme at the show, is these black wheels.
Yeah, it's normally in silver. I mean, the tankers, we offer any colour of tanker, really, alternate colours. I've done a lot down in my area, a lot of John Deere colours, because obviously with that kind of tractor. You know, black tankers, you know, we can cater for all sorts, really. Same with the diet feeders. Like if we have, you know, previous years we have had a black diet feeder here. It's just what the customer really wants to really, you know, go for, really.
Pimping up a diet feeder.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit different, isn't
it?
But
then, you know, it's the orange stands out. It's our obviously industry colour. You know, but there's always something where we can, you know, if the customer wants something different, then you can have something different.
That's it. And what sort of size tankers are you doing these days?
So up to a single axle, up to 3,000 gallon. So this is obviously 250 or 2,500. This one. So this would be your standard, you know, your standard farmer's machine, 2,500. Yeah, you know, your dairy farmer would be running something like this, but we can offer up to 6,000 triaxle. So fair old size, really.
Good, sir. So
you know, we can various different pumps. We can have Doda pumps on there, all sorts, really. Side arms. Yeah, there's endless amounts of stuff to try and cater for everybody's needs.
Yeah. That's it.
And how they function.
And it looks like you're offering a fair bit of technology these days with the NIR sensors.
Yeah, we're putting the NIR
that.
sensors on. You know, again, you know, there's grants for it. There's savings people need to know with the price of slurry, fertilizer. Slurry is there. You know, they're going. You know, it's free.
That's about making the most of it.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
It's absolutely. You know, fertilizer price is dropping down, but obviously, slurry when it's there, it is gold. Like, you know, so you know, it's a good thing. So you've got just keep up with the markets, NIR sensors, flow meters, all sorts. We can cater for anything, really. So
so you can fairly go to town with a spec on your tank. Is that as simple as you like,
absolutely.
or is really specable?
You can do it for your local farmer who's just got a little bit of slurry to move, or you can do it for your contractor. So whatever he's demanding, he really needs to sort of to push out there, really. So
that's it. And these dribble bars that you're doing, do you do like umbilical versions of these? We
do an umbilical on the trailing shoe, and we do a tri-up version, so we can use it as an umbilical. We don't use the DM band spreader as an umbilical because obviously it's just a rear mounted applicator, like in you know, we try to keep the weight down because obviously a small tanker, so we try to keep the weight down on this.
So you want to get the balance
right. Exactly. But once you start adding like hose reels to the back of it, you know, you're putting your machine at its limits, really. So we tend to just use it for that, really.
So you got the rotary spreader
the
on
old
as
barrel
well?
spreader never goes. You know, it's sort of they tend to sort of like around this area they would sell a few down in Cornwall. I sell a few down in Cornwall. But there's always a farmer who's always got these. We've had, you know, a customer probably had one 20 years, and I just supplied him a new top door, like the top door rusted out, like, and you know, you didn't want to change the spreader, you know, so the longevity of the machine is very good, so there's plenty of life in it.
That's it, just give it a TLC and keep it going for another 20 years.
It's nice to see them, like, you know, it's something like you see, you know, a lot of big spreaders out there in the market now, and there's obviously a lot of you know, demand for bigger machines, but you've still got your smaller farmer who you've got to cater for, like, so that's what we tend to do. Even, you know, with the 6 foot toppers, like, you know, the small toppers we offer, you know, pasture toppers, there's a market for them, like, you know, and there's, you know, we turn out a fair amount of those a year. You know, they're good machines. Again, down in Wales, Willie Jones would sell a hell of a lot of these, you know, and repeat business, like, you know, and they've got a yard full of second-hand ones which they do up and then they sell again or put them on eBay and stuff. So
give them a refresh.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't tend to wear it.
Can you get these in black as well if you want to?
Exactly. If you want a black one, we'll do a black one. Like, it's not a problem.
That's it. But and then just going back to diet feeders.
So diet feeders, like, again, you know, we do anything from a 10.5 cube up to 33.5 cube. So, you know, single auger, tandem auger, and tri auger. So, you know, we're into that, and we do a statics, but there's endless variations we do. You can see with the doors on this one, you know, you could have a rear door. This one itself has got a side door, so it's got a side elevator and a side door this side. But we can have rear doors. We can have extra doors on the back. endless amount.
Well, see, because you've got that many different kinds of sheds to fit into.
Absolutely, every farmer has got a different shed. Like you'll never go to
different
the same.
trough heights, different widths, depths.
Exactly.
Shed heights, door heights, all sorts.
Passageways are always different. Like it's all sort of a catered for the market. Like so, we just tend to sort of go and visit the farm, see what his needs are, and advise him, and hopefully supply the machine which he obviously needs to do his job.
And what would be one of your most popular models in the UK and Ireland?
Probably about 1850 would be this one here would be a good start.
So this would be a good your big seller.
Yeah, we would do a few 2450s and 2100s through the country. Some of the single tubs they would do. It all depends, obviously, the range. Where your farmer is really. If he's got 80 cows, 100 cows, or 200 or 300 cows, it's always like try and cater for the farmer. Like
that's it, and a bit like the tankers, there'll be lots of different spectrum in terms of technology and things like that.
Exactly, technology,
diet, feed management, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you can dial your feed in. You can get your app on the phone, so you can load. So you can, when the machine's mixing, you have your phone or your iPad in the cab, and you can connect to the screen. So it's Bluetooth connected, so you can see what you can see on the control box. You can see on your phone on your feed app. So it's very easy, really, to obviously. Keep it instead of trying to look at a box on a cold morning, rainy morning. You've got your phone, and you can exactly. You can look at it. But I mean, the diet feeders we cater them for and make them quick access. So we have reservoirs for our gearboxes, which has got a sight gauge in it. So a quick check in the morning, check your oil in there. You haven't got to worry about any leaks because the gearbox up underneath it has a seal go. So it's pretty. Try and make it as easy as we can, maintenance free, really.
That's it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Nick,
lovely.
Thank you very much for that little tour of your stars.
That's
absolutely spot on, that.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Right, ladies and gents, we are now at the Patchwork Technology booth here at the Rickerby Show, and obviously it's not all about the big machines. There is lots of technology that goes with those as well. So we're now joined by, well, she's the boss, basically, of Patchwork Technology. It is Sue Davis, and she's going to talk us through, well, basically, what you're showing off today, Sue. I mean, we'll start at one end and just run us through it.
So the first thing we've got is a low-cost RTK steering system, auto steer, that's retrofit on a tractor. It's not as fancy as some of the more expensive ones, but for a lot of smaller farmers, it's the correct price point.
Right, so this is like a steering wheel-based motorised steering unit rather than going into the steering valve itself.
Exactly that.
Right, and then would this screen always go with this, or do you have different screens that can go with this?
This is a 10-inch display that goes with it, and then a GPS receiver that goes on the roof, and that can be either EGNOS or RTK with a subscription.
Right, and what sort of accuracy are we talking with those two different ones?
With the RTK you're looking at about 2.5 centimetres, with the EGNOS about 20 centimetres.
Right, so moving on then.
So then we've got the Black Box Marine, which is a Patchwork made product, and most of what we sell these for is for doing variable rate and section control with spreaders. So whoever makes your maps, we can put them into the screen and then talk to the spreader controller to control the spreader.
That's it, and you do, like I say, that's the module for...
That's the module with the GPS in it.
Yeah.
And then you can choose whichever screen you wanted. So we got waterproof screens and non-waterproof screens depending on use.
Right.
So people slug pelleting might use a 5-inch screen on a quad bike because that's nice and waterproof.
Yeah.
But if you're in a cab, it's obviously cheaper to have a not waterproof screen.
That's it. And are all these touch screens all...
They're all Android tablets.
Right.
So they're all touch screen, they're all easy to use.
That's it. And like I say, you can do all your mapping through that, can you? You just put the map into that.
Yeah. So we've also got software that will create the maps. So we're working with some of the agronomy groups and some of the line guys who are only doing pH maps, and all those maps will go into here, or from the software you can export it as shapefile for competitive products, or ISO XML to go into big tractor terminals.
Right. There you go.
Or from the Black Box core software. So that's a subscription-based service.
Right, got you.
And if we come further this way, we got the Black Box here, which is our entry level. And that starts from £1,100. That's a GPS receiver with terrain compensation. It's got field recognition if you've mapped it. But for a lot of like grassland farmers, they are obviously becoming more conscious of the price of fertiliser.
So reduce those overlaps?
The biggest saving is if they open up the spreader. So a lot of guys are spreading at 12 metres and their spreaders are capable of going up to 24. And by using a basic guidance system, they can open that out to 24, do it in half the time, half the overlaps and half the diesel. So saving on fertiliser, diesel and time.
Absolutely. And so, these systems, these ones here, it's just the light, well, effectively like the light bar that you follow. Yeah, just a manual guidance gives you a line and a digital light to follow. So whichever you're most comfortable with, it'll work with it. And like I say, it's all made in the UK, this, is it?
All made in Wales.
All made in Wales. Not just UK, it's all made in Wales. There you go. Absolutely. There you go. Well, Sue, thank you very much for your time. That's been spot on, isn't it? Right, boys and girls, we now move on to the Storth stand here at the Rickerby Show, and I'm joined by Neil Robertson, sales manager at Storth.
Hiya.
And he's going to give us a quick stand tour in sort of the order of your products as you would kind of use them, really.
So basically, Storth do everything that's involved with slurry and slurry management. So anything from the back end of the cow right the way through to putting it on the field. So tonight, basically at Rickerby Show, we've got something as simple as a simple box scraper here, so behind the tractor, scraping passages. And that supports our automatic slurry scraper range, which we do rope, chain, hydraulic. So, yeah, anything that's in the yard and around the buildings will scrape up. And ultimately that's getting scraped into a pit. And as I was saying to you, the next really process of that is pumps. So here we've got a 6-inch superjet pump, 3 points, so mounted on the back of a tractor. And that can be used really as a pump for pumping slurry out of a pit. Yeah. Or it can be used to agitate. So we can have electric versions, we can have fixed static pumps, we can have a 6 foot, an 8 foot, a 10 foot deep, we can have with an agitator, without an agitator, 3 point as we said, or a 2 point. And you're pumping it or you're mixing it. So, you know, 2 functions basically with that machine. So we do stores as well. So we do the tin tanks, as everybody know them. Anything from sort of, I guess, $250,000 up to $1.5 million. And they're generally stored either by mixers inside, or you've got lagoon mixers here. So you've got your traditional lagoon mixer here. Yeah. Which 15 foot, 20 foot, 25 foot, that's a 20 foot. Or you can go into the big boys toys, which is over here. So this is a mega mix. This is a 9 metre. We're selling about 50 mega mixes a year. This is the big export machine.
That's the one.
Yeah, you're going from something that's, let's say, 2.5, 3 grand to something that's just under 20 grand. So you can see there's a bit of a scope between the two. But you know, this is.
Is that mainly a contractor's machine?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
That one.
Yeah.
Right.
So this works like a pump. So the technology you've got on the pump is the same here. Yeah. It basically on a propeller mixer, the deeper the lagoon goes, the more you're putting the energy from that propeller down into the floor. Right. So how do you solve the problem? You use a pump, and it doesn't matter how deep it is and what angle it is, and it's now pulling and drawing the slurry into the bottom end. Yeah. And then through the jetter then, which will move 300 degrees side to side and up and down and round and round and all that carry on, you can then get a really good mix. So you're into, with some of the bigger farms now and AD plants, you're into some enormous lagoons, 1 million gallons. This baby here was made for your traditional 200 cows.
And I see it's got like a pipe that goes back to the headstock as well. So what, you can use that for? So
ultimately, mixing through the spout, but dual purpose. If you take the option of a side pipe, you can use that for pumping to top fill a tanker. Mm-hmm. You can use it for feeding an umbilical pump, which we've got there. So it's basically giving you a dual purpose machine, and there's lots of options in this. You can do front pipes for top loading, tankers. There's lots of options there. This one here, and again you can get very in depth with it all, but this one here runs on a Hardox drum. Yeah. So you'll have probably talked about Hardox with trailers and stuff. So Hardox drum, so it would work in a sandy condition. and will obviously last longer because of that. And I think it'll have a auto lube kit on it as well, will this one, so yeah. And the tyres, which are not a standard item, but a lot of guys are putting liners into lagoons now. So you want it to sit on the floor, you don't want it to rip about, so hence the lovely way. People think you're going to tow that behind a tractor.
No, that's not for towing.
That is not for towing, no.
So pump-wise, what have we got today?
So umbilical pump, you've got a Dorder here, but we'll sell Dorder, L30s, L35s, L35s, L35 HDs, and you can also then put a bower onto this or a bower. So the base is basically made to accommodate either a Dorder pump or a bower pump. Different types of pipe work in terms of a simple farmer, which we do. This one's what we call middle of the road contractor.
Yeah.
And you've got the primer pump on there as well, the hydraulic primer. So everything's galvanised, as you can see, clear pipes, so you can see what you're doing. Standard on bower fittings, compressor coupling in here, double acting, 17 bar rated valves on there. The Dorder pump will feed an umbilical line, so we're selling 6-inch, 5-inch, 4-inch pipe, G&H or snap tight. Always in stock, bower fittings, Storth fittings, whatever you want basically.
Yeah.
And that
good
then,
to go.
Yes, yeah. And that then leads you on to reelers, trailing shoes, dribble bars, application kit really. So we pretty much we have it all covered as far as we're concerned, and we
literally.
Yeah, fair point. So yeah,
that's it.
And the machine over there is a tanker dribble bar. There's recently been grants on tanker dribble bars.
Yeah.
And there is new grants on dribble bars, trailing shoes, hose and reelers. So yeah, there's a lot of business out there, and people are ultimately trying to use slurry better.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Again, like we said before, today, it's like making the most of what you got, innit?
100%.
Yeah.
Fertiliser drove it on last year with the prices, and there's a better understanding of slurry and slurry management, and we're ultimately here to help people as part of that cycle, really.
That's it. So just talk us through some of your dribble bars then that you've got here, and sort of the models that you offer, and the widths and things like that.
So, and I might move Gary on in a minute. So we've got, if you take the machine behind you is the simplest machine that we have really. So that is a 7-metre tanker dribble bar. So that'll retrofit onto any tanker that you have, Abbey, high spec, Major, Connor.
Yeah, just straight onto the door.
Straight onto the door. If the tanker has got chassis brackets on it, we can mount it off the chassis, we can strengthen it off the chassis. All retrofittable, basically comes as a kit, and the dealer, give or take, can manage that themselves. So that is the simplest sort of solution, and probably our highest selling solution at the moment, just because of the grants. Historically, we were and we definitely are still into the umbilical side of things, and this is a 12-metre contractor plus machine. So with the umbilical stuff, we have like what we call a farmer plus range, a contractor range, and a contractor plus range. This is, as Gary would say, this is the dog's bollocks basically. This is the contractor plus machine. So this one here has got 2 distributors. If you look inside it, in the distributors, it's got a chopper kit, so it'll handle high fibrous material.
Right. Are these your own?
Yes, that is our own manufacture, our own design. Hardox plates in the bottom, Hardox wear plates under here. All the pipes are held firmly in place, as you can see. You know, made from proper box, good thick stuff, nice big wide joints in here, so loads of strength. I mean, unfortunately, this machine will get about as much love as my missus. Once it's working, it's working, and it might see grease sometimes. We're trying to design something that will last.
Yeah.
It's going to get covered in shit, ultimately. So we're trying to get something that's really simple, that's going to be effective. So yeah, you've got 2 distributors each side. Potentially on a hillside, there's always a tendency for slurry, you don't want to go down the hill.
Exactly, yeah.
You've got 2 valves, so you can basically feather the slurry to get evenness.
Right. You could have like off-width shut-off as well.
100%, yeah, because not all fields are massive, butts and all the rest of it. So yeah, your inlets here, locking for transport. You know, it's loads of visibility out the back. Yeah. We do a single macerator machine, and that is called a contractor. More of a farmer type machine, or you know, large farmer, small contractor. visibility is a bit less.
Yeah.
But basically you're doing the same thing. You're putting slurry basically on the soil surface the best that you can.
Yeah, where it wants to be, not covering up the leaves and all that.
And there's a tendency to go also for the trailing shoe. And I am leading you on a little bit.
That's all right.
Really.
No, keep going. But lead away.
The dribble bar itself is a huge step on from splash plating in terms of the use of nitrogen and loss of ammonia. The trailing shoe takes it on a stage
Another
again
step further.
because you're now potentially delivering that slurry actually to the surface of the soil. So you're quickening the time it's going to take to get down to the root and give you that additional growth. Slightly heavier machines, more parts. You can see it's a more complex machine.
This has to actually put some pressure on the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, at the moment, the market is probably in dribble bars.
Yeah.
But there are, there's I would say, of application-wise, the market is probably 80%, 20%.
Right.
But I think
at the moment,
it will go more that way. But
and do you think you'll ever go disc injection as well? Because we've kind of seen that come and go.
It depends on legislation at the end of the day. It's been and gone because high wear costs. Does it damage the soil? It's a bit like different machines suit different farms, suit different soil types, suit different strategies on grass growth, crop growth. But I mean, again, we hopefully deliver on all things, and we can sell you whatever you want.
That's
really.
If the demand's there, you'll.
I'm a big fan of the trailing shoe, but it's the most expensive and makes us the most money. So there you go.
It's got the most margin.
But ultimately that is delivering the slurry underneath the crop at the soil surface, which is where it's required. But we'll see where the job goes, really.
That's it. Well, Neil, thank you very much for your tour of your stand. Absolutely spot on is that.
Lovely.
And hopefully we'll catch you again next time somewhere. So, boys and girls, we're now on the Schaffer stand at the show, and I'm joined by Howard Fulton, who is now looking after, well, just explain it, Howard, in terms of you're importing Schaffer now, are you?
We're importing Schaffer, yeah. We have done Schaffer now in Northern Ireland. We began in Northern Ireland back 3 years ago. They approached us to do Southern Ireland, which would go on as the importer.
Right.
Then the last year they come on to talks, and as from January this year now they've wanted us to do the UK as well, which we're now doing. That's what brings me here today, to help these guys out, just to show.
So the machines you've got on show today, I mean, just talk us through the lineup really.
The first thing, they call this a Z machine. As you can notice, they're non-telescopic. These guys got this machine here, that's yellow as you can notice, but that's actually a construction machine.
All right.
Schaffer does agri and construction.
Yeah.
For us yet, we have ever only brought on one yellow ourselves, and we just tried that at the very beginning, thinking maybe it was a bit like a mat roller.
Yeah.
But we decided...
Put some white wheels on it, it'll be nearly there, won't it?
But then we decided we'd stick to the red ones just. Yeah. But that's a construction machine. You can notice the boom in that's a way lower down, which gives it a higher lift capacity.
Right.
But coming back to the farming, then it maybe doesn't just lift as high, but you get the farming spec on that same machine, but it's a higher... It's a higher set boom.
And is it basically the difference between the ag spec and construction spec? Is it just the front half of it's different, or is
the engine, everything's the same, but if you'd notice on the side, there's maybe slight difference. It's not just as well spec machine.
Right.
Obviously, them machines aren't designed for pushing grass or doing as much as what lifting power was their main vision.
So onto the ag models then.
This machine here. That's the 6680. All our machines in these sizes, you can notice in the middle there, you're looking at that's 3 year, 3,000 hour maintenance free.
On that?
On the pivots.
Right.
Them's built in there with bearings. They're not just copper bushings or whatever. Them's proper built bearings, the same as the large machines.
They're not messing about with that, are they?
Pivots in the back axle for the better stability, same as all large machines is that way.
So what sort of lift capacity on this one?
That machine there is just under 5 metre lift height, but that is a 3.2 tonne lift capacity.
Oh, it's got some.
Because they're a bit of grunt with them.
Yeah. And how many horsepower this one then?
horsepower.
Yeah.
Horsepower of them there, they're 75 with a turbo. But you have to remember, horsepower in these machines doesn't. That machine will outperform some of the competitors in 120 horsepower.
That's what you do with it, innit?
With the push, it's hydrostatics.
Yeah.
Everyone asks horsepower, but they never ask hydrostatic powers.
Right.
Schaffer would be in the league of their own as regard. We have them machines out pushing on silage like them quite sufficient.
Yeah? What, with one of these size?
No problems.
Yeah?
We have them men pushing. Not saying you're not doing 130 or 40 acres every day with them, but
yeah. For a sensible size, small, medium farm,
that's
just the job.
No problem, man. No problem whatsoever.
And headstock wise, obviously we see pin and corn on this, pin and corn on that. Do you do any others as well?
We do open for any headstock, Volvo headstock, you name it, they can do it.
Right.
That's the Matbro, but Kramer headstocks.
Yeah.
We try ourselves to keep everyone Hill, Pan and Cone. For me, it's the most popular headstock. Resale value, it's probably the best for us.
Well, there'll be that many attachments about with pin and cone brackets on.
If I had my way, that's the headstock.
Yeah.
Would just be the only choice. But
so
this one here,
next one up,
is an 8620T. You're under 130 odd horsepower, but again.
Is it Deutz in these?
Deutz.
Right.
They're all that range we're looking at. It's all Deutz.
Right. So all these we've walked past are all Deutz.
Keeps it simple for us. It's all Deutz virtually in the full range.
And what's lift capacity on this?
This one is rated at 4.2 ton.
Right.
So now they're no job you'll put that to it. You'll be disappointed coming away from it. That machine for me, you'll do anything.
Right. And what will this be? 6 metre plus?
No, you're still only 5 metre.
Still 5 metre, right.
But you have to remember your pivot steer, always the 5 metre starts to at the front of your wheels. You're never lost in any of your. Okay, if you're changing a light bulb, you might lose it, but some of your competitors, the side mounts, they're going back on them, so the tipping height.
That's it, yeah.
Absolutely. So it is.
There you go. Good stuff.
Other than that, that's as much as I can really tell you about them.
No, it's spot on, is that?
So it is.
Hope you do well with the bigger area that you've got to work with now as well.
I know it's area, but.
Well, there we go. Howard, thank you very much for your time.
Okay,
it's been absolutely spot on. I think there you go, ladies and gents. That kind of wraps up our little show coverage of the Rickerby Show, the 22nd Rickerby Show. Hope you've enjoyed it, our little whistle-stop tour. Unfortunately, we couldn't talk to everybody here because we'll be here all night and probably take us a couple of days. But hopefully it's just given you a little bit of a flavour. As ever, go check out lappowertv.com for loads more reviews, custom reviews, show events, reports like this. And as ever, we shall catch you again next time.